Welcome back, trainers, to another Pokemon Let's Go Wi-Fi battle. This time we're going to be taking a look at Melmetal, followed up by a Muck, Mewtwo, Aerodactyl, Clefable, and a Starmie for the opposing team. Now the only problematic one I see there is probably going to be the Melmetal and the Alolan Muck. Starmies can be problematic if they're trained in the correct nature and IVs. Otherwise, they're not going to be doing as much damage as they could potentially do and outspeed your other Pokemon. Alright, so let's go ahead and go into this. I'm actually going to be testing out a new Pokemon here, and that is going to be Jolteon. I have a light screen and reflect deal going on for it to cut every move's damage in half. So say somebody leads in with an Aerodactyl, they usually like to put down Stealth Rocks, which will give me the opportunity to put up that light screen, which will protect me. So we have a decent example here. So I'm going to be able to put up my light screen while they throw out the rocks, if that's what they're deciding to do. But in this case, they had a general idea as to what I was going to do, and that was going to be put up reflect. So they do taunt, which is going to make it so I cannot do anything but attack moves, which is perfectly fine because I did some homework before I went online, and Jolteon does have more speed than Aerodactyl, which is going to be great, as well as awesome special attack. And check it out, we're going to go for this and just take him out. Now, I've done this twice against somebody else who had maxed out IVs. I know because I've battled them before, and I can totally tell their team is trained very well. So even if they had an Aerodactyl with max special defense, it still was going to go down, as well as HP. Now, the problem with Pokemon Let's Go Online is when you get competitive, you're going to see a lot of the same Pokemon showing up because, well, there's nowhere else to turn but the very few top tier Pokemon like Aerodactyl, Mewtwo, Starmie. Alolan Muck is, believe it or not, a fantastic Pokemon to use to wall people who are trying to get away with maybe like a Gengar sweep or Alakazam, even a Mewtwo sweep. So anyways, what's going on here is that you substitute. Maybe they thought I was going to switch, but good thing I didn't, because they would have had a free turn to take a hit and do some sort of status raising. So what I'm going to do is just keep attacking, and I'm just going to go for it. So I'm just going to keep going through it until it's finished. There's no point in switching out, just in case they did substitute again. Then I was going to have a little problem there. They're going to get a free hit on me, so we're just going to wipe it out there. The Jolteon basically will be used for putting up those screens. Anything else after that is a bonus, okay? And I have a feeling a lot of people who use Stealth Rocks, they have the same mindset. Now, finally, check it out. We have Melmetal. So I was going to go for the Reflect because that is going to reduce the attack damage, because I do know Melmetal is specialized in attack, especially with that double iron bash. It is probably going to hit me. There you go, with Earthquake, of course. This will, in fact, take out my Jolteon because Melmetal is fairly strong and Jolteon is not that tanky, even with the light screen up. But that is perfectly fine because that wasn't really for the Jolteon at all. That was going to be for the Pokemon I bring in next. Now, of course, the obvious move would be go to Arcanine and do a fire move and take out that Melmetal as quick as you can, because it is going to be a pure steel type. Obviously, the opponent would switch if they knew anything about strategy. In fact, that is what they're going to do. But I just thought to myself, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and do that Flare Blitz, because basically anything he brings in is going to take a good amount of health right off of him. So he does go for the Starmie, the one that would take the least amount of damage. So let's see how much it takes off there. It's not very defensive. Yeah, looking pretty good. Over quarter health. So it does get the burn as well, which doesn't really make too much of a difference other than just taking off its health, because Starmie is specialized in special attack. So let's see if we can take the hit. If we can, well, Crunch is going to possibly take out this Starmie. So it does go for the Scold, and let's go ahead and see here. Now, I think it might not be completely maxed out in the special attack IV, although I could be wrong, and my Arcanine is just fairly special defensive, because I went up against others online and they one-shotted me a pretty good amount of the time. Now, personally, for me, I find Starmie and Alolan Muck to be one of the most difficult Pokemon to go up against, because they can completely counter your team. Say you're down to your last few Pokemon and they're Psychic and Ghost type, say Gengar and Alakazam. If you don't have any sort of ground move, well, you're basically going to get walled. And for the Starmie, it's so fast that it's just crazy. It has good special attack, and with Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, and Psychic, that is some massive coverage for the top tier Pokemon. So I just decided to go for the Flare Blitz and finish off that Alolan Muck, because, well, they're just super annoying. Since it's down to its last bit of health here, I'm just going to go in here with the Venusaur, put it to sleep. I could simply do Earthquake, but I didn't want him to switch into another Pokemon, and then I had to deal with that. The best case scenario is just to use Sleep Powder, and if they do switch, well, whatever's coming in is going to be put to sleep. But something that you need to take note of, very much so, is if the other opponent has a Venusaur and or a grass type Pokemon and you're trying to use Sleep Powder, you're not going to put them to sleep. You can't put other grass type Pokemon to sleep with the Sleep Powder. So if you're trying to counter sleep, pull in your Venusaur and then bingo. Best thing to do after that is probably going to be Sludge Bomb against another Venusaur. Alright, back in here with the Melmetal, and Arcanine is gone. That's not a problem. I already knew I could take it out. It's just going to take some time because it is very defensive. Alright, but it is slow. That is the plus thing. So I'm going to be able to put it to sleep and then just put work into it with Earthquake. It's not going to do that much damage, and I did make an attempt to switch into another Pokemon so I can get my attack up and just simply sweep it in maybe 2 hits. So we will see that here in just a minute. So first time putting it to sleep, and now we're just gonna Earthquake it and Earthquake it some more. But first I do make a attempt to try to switch into my Dodrio, which does have a fighting type move. I was going to Swords Dance, bring up my attack, and then just put in work. It should have taken it out in maybe like 2 hits after I've done that Swords Dance. So anyways, let's go ahead and see what happens and see if it actually stays asleep. Because usually for me, I get the worst odds online. I stay frozen for several moves, I stay asleep, the Pokemon wake up in their first turn. It's outrageous, alright? So there goes 1 hit, and if it does more than half, you guarantee you're done for. Yep, there you go. So double Iron Bash, very strong move, but it is a slow Pokemon, so it does have to worry about that. If you hit it with a, say, Fire Blast from a Charizard Y, I do believe you might be able to take it out. But this thing is so tanky, it just might be able to take the hit. So yeah, look out for these things. They're not so problematic. I haven't really lost to one, although I did battle a shiny one, guys. I mean, I really wish I recorded that. This was before I had my screen recorder. I should have at least screenshotted it. Yeah, pretty weird and hard to believe. A shiny Melmetal, I know, sounds crazy. I don't even know if you can get that. I also seen a shiny Mew, and I was thinking, how are you gonna get a shiny Mew in Pokemon Let's Go? Is that gonna require you to just get the best odds in the world, and when you do transfer it into Pokemon Let's Go from the Pokeball Plus, will it just be shiny, or do you need to buy like hundreds of these and transfer them and then you finally get a shiny Mew? Or maybe somebody got the Mew and they just gave it to them, simple as that. Because out of everybody in the world, that is a possibility to get a shiny Mew when you transfer one from the Pokeball Plus to Pokemon Let's Go. So who knows. Anyways, still doing some Earthquake. It woke up and it is about time for me to be done, and I knew it was okay. I'm not going to sit there and just keep doing Sleep Powder when it's already asleep to guess if it's going to wake up. Plus, it's not going to matter because I'm faster anyway. So, yeah. So we're going to have to go in here with Alakazam. I was getting a little nervous because Steel type does resist Psychic, and Shadow Ball wouldn't have taken it out in 1 hit. And then you have Double Iron Bash, which is a Steel type move, which is going to be super effective to my Cloyster. Although my Cloyster does have massive defense and pretty good HP, it should be able to take the hit. But yeah, it was basically in the bag at this point if I survived the Double Iron Bash with my Cloyster. It was just a matter if my Alakazam was going to be able to take it out right here, right now. So if you're wondering, wow, you always go to Alakazam for saving. Well guys, when you play online, people keep using Mewtwo's and Mews, the legendary birds. And yes, they're a lot stronger than the average Pokemon. You can counter them fairly well if you're a good player, for sure. But the biggest problem is the Mewtwo Y. For sure, it's so fast it can take the Shadow Ball from Alakazam, which you're going to see right here. Exactly what I was talking about. Now, I was thinking, should I switch? I don't know if I should, because if I go in, it's obviously going to basically kill me because my Cloyster is not special defensive, only defense. So I decide to just go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball. Now, I could have been a little bit safer and went for the Calm Mind, raise my special attack and raise my special attack, and then had more attack onto that Mewtwo. But I just decided to go for the Shadow Ball because I was like, alright, I'm sick of these Mewtwo Ys. Let's see if I can get a critical hit here. And this is what happened. I survived with 7 health. Now, either I got very lucky or he doesn't have max IVs and special attack. Alright, because for the most part, just like the Starmies, I always get killed in 1 shot by other Pokemon when I'm using Alakazam. Specific situations right here. For the most part, Alakazam can take the hits. So I hope you enjoyed these gym battles. I'm going to be bringing some more intense ones later on. But for now, I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.